Welcome back to another episode of the Hooligans Pitch, episode 112. Chad, happy New Year's Eve, 2 days before 2026. Let's get it going.
Wow, yeah. Right in between holidays. Hope you had a good Christmas. Looking forward to the New Year. It's going to be a party.
New Year's going to be fun. We got big games tomorrow, a break on the eve, and then New Year's Day. A lineup that I'm looking forward to seeing. So, again, another busy week. 2 more games before Sunday for the two of us. Man, if we're tired for Premier League, I can't imagine how the people actually playing it are feeling right now. It is a busy schedule.
It's just it's I know Arsenal's schedule is pretty almost a game every 3 days basically, and I assume most teams are in that boat.
Yep.
Especially right now, there's not a whole lot of European games or anything, so it's just it's always a busy period, but it's just crazy for us to even keep up. So yeah, like you said, how do you go from focusing on one game to then try and recover and then go for the next? I don't know.
you got to stay in this total zone right now, which is a crazy thing to ask these players during the holidays when they're playing on arguably the biggest family day in the entire world. Yeah. And, you got your coaches saying if you gain more than 3 kilos, you're not playing. So you got players on the scale on Christmas Day telling their manager they're good to go. Just a lot of, hey, they make the big bucks. They make the sacrifices. It's just a part of the game. But as a fan, awesome. Can't wait to see 2 more games at the end of the week. And then we just roll right into 2026 and the schedule keeps going.
Keep on moving.
So I think now, though, and we did say this about a month ago, this is where we're going to start to see some separation. I think it's happening. I think we're starting to see who's going to be hanging around that top 5 area and who's going to start to slip off. I think we're also seeing a case of who will be that bottom 7 right now, because those teams just aren't showing up when you think they really should be. And then you got your Palaces, who are just going to be this kind of in-between team again. Such high hopes for them, sitting, they were on a huge win streak all the way up till December, and now they've dropped 3 in a row, and they're sitting mid-table again. Yeah,
they started so strong, and I didn't think they really had it for the long haul, but at least would continue to cause some issues. But yeah, it seems like they've kind of just lost their luster a little bit, I think. Some key injuries and Munoz being out, and Chris Richards. So I think they had one of their midfielders playing center back this past game. So tough spot to be in right now when it is so busy. But look, that number 12 spot's always there for them.
It's right there. Good. Would it shock me if they fall to 12th and sit there for the rest of the season? Absolutely not. We've skipped over what we were having, Chad. I won't lie to you. Severely dehydrated from our truckie adventure over the weekend, so I'm just very hydrating right now.
Smart.
How about you?
Still working on the eggnog. I got 1 glass left. So
you sick of it yet?
No, I've basically only had it during the pods.
That's good. That's good.
So it can be a lot, but I've learned over the years, space it out.
Yep. Not an eggnog guy myself, so impressed that you can do it.
Fair.
Chad, I just want to start with the ugly here, and luckily my team gets to be in it too. Liverpool Wolves. Chad, Wolves at the New Year are likely to have 2 points. Something we've never seen before.
No.
Something that is historical in being the worst team ever. And I just want to take a moment to think about all the good players that have come through that club and have made this club likable, a scared team to go against at times. It was only last year they beat City. We forget that. This team had some talent. Neto. We can go back to Ait Nuri, Kilman. They had talent And now that talent's gone, and they didn't replace it with anything. And they have like a couple guys on this team who are decent and will probably get picked up later. But to go down and be the worst team in Premier League history, it just sucks. It's like no one wants to see it.
No, and it's kind of a weird one because, like, you know, they've been in the Premier League consistently for a good few years now. So you would think if there is a terrible team, I mean, what, Sheffield United was pretty bad and let in some 60 odd goals or whatever it is by the end of the season.
Yep.
So you would think it would be one of those newly promoted teams, but not a Wolves team that has just kind of let itself deteriorate over a few seasons and not make any I guess smart signings or the correct signings. But yeah, 2 points probably going into the new year on that is crazy. I just hope, you know, at this point you're knocking down the ticket sale prices. Just at least let the fans get in there and fill it up and try and make this somewhat fun for the supporters and I guess players alike, you know.
Yeah, and looking at our game, you know, no Szoboszlai, so it's not that like we really needed him here, but the lineup was going to be a little different without him, considering he's played every minute of every game this entire season. Vibes are good with Liverpool right now. I was confident coming in. Going up 2-0 in quick succession in that second half was just awesome. Vert's getting his first goal. Amazing. Vibes are good right now. And even when the Wolves got their goal, it didn't feel like an oh shit moment. You didn't see players panicking like how we were, just 2 games ago when we were going against Tottenham up 2 men and Tottenham was still slinging balls in the box, making us nervous. It wasn't that type of 2-1 game. I think the Wolves are just mentally done. Like, I would love to see a little more fight out of them. I don't know how they get it at this point, being, what are they now, 9 points down from 19th. I'm sorry, 10 points down from 19th, 11 points down from 18th, and then a whopping 16 points away from the relegation freedom. So it's inevitable. Yeah. You're getting relegated. Yeah. So how do you motivate the players in the nicest way possible to say, hey, let's not be the worst team ever?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I think I mean, I think that the managers probably are already trying it, but I think your only real option is to, you know, try and get them to go out there and put on a good performance, a good show. And while, season overall may not have panned out, I think you can try and leave performances out there that show you're not that bad of a team. It just, something fell apart early on and never got fixed. I mean, you can try motivating with the, you know, let's like upset a title run or upset a Champions League run, you know, something like that, to just try and give them something to fight for, rather than like, I mean, you can't really just say 3 points because the points don't matter anymore, right? You're so far gone from safety. Like, it would take incredible collapse from other teams and an incredible run from your team, which you've shown is most likely not going to happen.
If they do it, amazing story.
That'd be crazy.
Amazing. And
that would it would rival the Leicester City title win, basically.
Yeah, I don't know what the odds are for them in terms of getting out of the relegation zone, but they go against the Man United team this week. Tomorrow, in fact, that they lost to 4-1 a couple weeks ago. But now this United team doesn't have Bruno, which is a big piece for them to hopefully continue their streak. United just got by Newcastle. They lost to Aston Villa. I'm like, do the Wolves look at this game and like, okay, we know how we lost. Big part of that was Bruno. Like, could this be the catalyst to get them going? Because then they got West Ham next. Very winnable game. Like that is the one where I'm like, okay, that's got to be your win. And then they go Everton, Newcastle, and then City. So this United game could be I think it's more interesting than what it shows on paper.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, kind of like what you're just saying, like Wolves have nothing to lose at this point. So,
and they're not getting blown out. They're not getting blown out in these games.
And I haven't really watched enough of them to really say, but over the Arsenal game and the Liverpool game, I feel like they don't look as terrible as their position would say. It's obviously not anything close to the Wolves team in past seasons that were kind of a underdog threat, but I feel like they put up a decent fight against Arsenal. Like, yeah, they maybe surprised themselves with the goal they got, but like they were in there fighting to the end, trying to get the win, right? And even with Liverpool, you grab a goal back. I think they were showing a little bit of that same fight, but Liverpool just didn't really give them too much space to get back into the game. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, a United team missing some key players. Now going through like a formation change, apparently. Like, might be time to strike, and it would be crazy if it starts some run for them. But hey, if it gives them confidence to go into the City game in a few weeks and pull one over them, I'm all for it.
If the Wolves upset United here, what happens to Amorim? Like I've seen another rumor coming out. He's getting the games that he should maybe win, but also the team isn't still what they should be, right? I mean, barely squeaking by Newcastle, I think, was a surprise. Losing to Villa, no surprise there, but the draw against Bournemouth, yeah, you beat the Wolves. You drew West Ham just a couple games ago. Like, no other team is just drawing West Ham. Like, this team is still so rocky. I don't know. I sense bad things if they lose this game.
It certainly is like one of the worst results you could get this season. But I just feel like United wants to be on this Amorim train for some reason. Like, it's as much as we talk about, giving managers time to work their system and get their players and stuff, it's like you do need to see some real progress in that time. And I'd say United is marginally better than last season, but again, yeah, like you just said, it's wins against teams they should be winning against, but even some of those results are not wins. Like, it's still not a great spot for them. I don't know. I think United just something about Amorim. Maybe they give him a crazy like early termination clause and they don't want to pay it or something. But I think they're just kind of bought in on him at least through the season, unless it goes terribly. But I think like you're up there in top 6-ish range. I think they'll be happy with that. I think, well, not happy, but I think they'll be
content
with that. Yeah, it's improvement on last season, I guess, right? So it's maybe a step forward if you want to consider it that. I think it's not really a step, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, at this point, I just feel like if you were going to let Amorim go, it should have probably been earlier, if not last season. And now you're just along for the ride.
We are too.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a fun ride to watch. All right, well, that's besides Liverpool's match against Wolves, Wirtz got his first goal, which was just phew, man. He
looks so excited for that. I love seeing that. It was like I could only imagine the pressure he's feeling, probably not from his team, but and maybe not even really from Liverpool fans, but I'm sure you get so much. You hear enough of that media and just rumblings of like, especially with your price tag, like waving that around you came into a new team, new league. It was always going to take time.
He's so
And I
good.
think,
He's so good.
oh yeah, yeah,
It,
he's
it,
going to be great. It just was going to take time to really find his spot in the team, or the setup around him to let him flourish. And I feel like him and Ekatike is going to be the pairing to go forward with.
the chemistry that's already brewing between Kirkez, Ekateke, and Wirtz is just, it's very fun to see in real time, considering
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning it was just empty. But
Yeah.
now watching them make runs, watching how much Kirkez is hustling on the wing and fighting for balls, that's the Bournemouth Kirkez that
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool wanted, right? That
Oh
fight,
yeah.
that dog. Now I'm like, who's our dog right now? It's going to be Kirkez, man. He's not going to take no shit from no one. And I think having that international teammate too in Szoboszlai to kind of like back you up on it too. I think this chemistry that's forming right now is just going to be, for the future, long term, or at least the next, I'm gonna call it 4 to 5 years, is gonna be really, really cool to see. Just continuing to build up on, and it's. I'm glad we're doing this without Salah. I'm glad things are just, the vibe right now. The energy is all good. I can only hope it lasts. I hope when Salah comes back, this like cloud doesn't come with him. It's a really interesting team, and then seeing what's in front of us. When I say in front of us, the top of the table right now with City, Arsenal, and Villa, almost like hanging back and just observing what the three of you guys are doing, which Villa's on this incredible run, 11 wins in a row, something they haven't done since 1897, like
Crazy.
just historic. And then you got City, who's just looming behind Arsenal. And then I'm going to say it, Chad, Arsenal not scoring goals like the way they should be, and just kind of banking on pressure to win them games, right? Own goals come from pressure. So you guys are doing that, right? You're creating opportunities for mistakes and own goals to happen. But I got to ask, like, are you like satisfied with that? Because like, it's good you're winning. I'm not taking, I'm not taking the wins away. It's just the way you're getting these wins. It feels.
Look. We started the season as set piece FC. Now we're own goal FC. I think the next iteration is going to be like just Arsenal FC, right?
Okay.
And hopefully that means scoring our goals ourselves, right? Is it? As much as the festive period is fun, has this been a fun festive period for Arsenal fans? Probably not. It's probably been pretty stressful. I feel like every game is almost kind of on that knife's edge, trying to. I mean, getting the 3 points for the most part, but it's always a scary 3 points, right? It's not been a comfortable blowout or. Even just a comfortable ending. Like, so many goals have come so late, and some of those result in drop points, or the FA Cup against Palace sends us into penalties. So it's great to get the 3 points almost every week here, but not the most fun or exciting fan experience in the moment, at least. Like, post game, once I kind of get my thoughts together and get feelings out here or online or whatever, like, then I feel pretty good. Like, the team isn't fully clicking, but you're still seeing some tidbits here and there of like Trossard finding Gyökeres on some early balls in this last game, which was great. Just Gyökeres couldn't really get the shot off as he wanted. Odegaard, I think this was probably one of his best games since coming back from injury. Got a goal himself, so that's huge. Saka looked great. Maybe unlucky to not get a couple assists. He put some good balls in, but Gyökeres or anyone else was just not there, which is unfortunate. But and like I said last episode, it's the creation is there. I forget the stat, but it was like the XG of like 9 in the recent games, and Arsenal players have only scored one of those goals, which is like, I mean, crazy. But
right.
You hope that with the creation there, at some point the finishing will match up with that, right? And I don't think every game needs to be a complete blowout, but at the very least, like, just score a couple goals. So I don't know. At this point, I'm just kind of get more worried about the sustainability of this, right? Like, not even just the goals themselves, but the added stress and pressure of these kind of games. Because I mean, look, we're just nearly halfway through the season, so if table stays like this or similar as you get into, February, March, April, May, like getting to that run, and like that's a completely different pressure on top of just the in-game pressure, right? So I worry that if Arsenal can't figure out their attacking better, that coupled with final running pressure might be too much, right? It's you can only take so much as a player, and just stay focused as much as you can, but something's got to give at some point.
City is such a fascinating team because we look at them on paper and they're just so drastically different from any previous last 6, 7, 8 years, just because there's those names on that team sheet now are so new, right? We just haven't seen much of them. Season or two, but nothing like solidified for like a dynasty run, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if City is truly for real, because we take out Holland, right, and your goals dramatically drop off.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, Holland doesn't go away very often. He doesn't get injured too often, so he's going to be there. We can all assume. But again, he has these games. Even though City won, he has these games where he can kind of disappear. Yeah. And Forest put up a good fight against City this weekend. I think, they had a couple of incidents where, Gibbs White said he should have been fouled. And I don't know your perspective on it, but I was like, to me, that's a flop. I think he should have been tougher there. I think it was pretty poor of him to go down and then argue it later. And even for Dyche to come out after the game and say, we want the audio, we want to see what the ref saw. I don't know what they're looking at. I hate City just as much as I think the average fan here, but I saw no wrongdoing on City's end. Yeah. So a game I expected City to win. I just wonder, they're on an incredible run again, but I think the key word of this whole episode is just like sustainability. Right?
Yeah.
We asked that about Arsenal. We asked that about City, and we are now going to ask that about Aston Villa, I think, pretty soon. Because Emery said today that they're not in the title run. And I'm like, what's wrong with these coaches saying that? This is the second time in the last 2 years a manager in the top 4 has said they're not in the title race. It's like, then what are you here for?
Yeah.
Why that mentality? It might be like the one day at a time mentality, but that's not what this season is at times. You need to be looking at the finish line and kind of planning your future. So I don't know. That frustrates me because then players hear that and I don't know. I don't want to say it dampers the mood, but look at the run that Villa's on right now. Hype it up.
Yeah, I think you're right. It has to be kind of like if you're interviewing the Wolves manager, obviously he's not going to talk about the title charge because it's out of reach, right? Like, but
sure.
If you're Aston Villa, you're on this great run, you're 3 points off top, you've already got a win over Arsenal, you play them again in tomorrow, so that's you maybe didn't start the season thinking you were going to be in a title run even before the performances at the start of your season, but I think like just as we talked about Liverpool off the pod earlier, whereas like it seems so doom and gloom, and then all of a sudden we're here where Liverpool's back and forth, looking comfortable, where it's getting a goal, getting an assist, getting up to speed. I think maybe maybe title charge was, the dream of the season for Villa, but yeah, take it game by game, day to day. But at a certain point, I think, yeah, you maybe don't want to say it because you don't want to add that pressure to the team, but you're on a incredible win streak. You're right there at the top, fighting with the big dogs. Like you said, hype them up. Let's see what happens.
That's just a personal preference of mine. I like the target on my back. If I'm coaching something, I want teams to be scared. I want our players to feel so confident that it radiates, right? And to say like, yeah, we're going to challenge Arsenal and City for the title. We're right behind y'all. Instead of saying, no, that's not like our goal. That's not our focus. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is epic. The run you're on, considering where you started and where you are now. It's I think Villa winning this year, if our teams didn't exist and we weren't in a fight for it, it's not shades of Leicester, right? Because they were just way in the table, bottom of the table for the years previous to their title run. Villa's always hung around, but they've never been like this like star-studded team, right? They just had a lot of dudes who can play really, really well together. And even right now, you look at this team and it's an interesting combination of players. No player on that team, you're like, they are going to be the best every single game. Yeah. It changes every day. I feel like they have a different man of the match, and that can be a really good thing. But I do think for a title-winning team, you need to have the superstar, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're missing, and I'd be really curious to see what their winter transfer window looks like. I don't know. I don't watch enough of them to really say what they need. But what do you need on an 11-game win streak?
Yeah, that's the thing. Do you need anything, or is it just? Do you look for some promising young player that can maybe step in for the last 10 minutes of games or something? But I haven't watched too much of them either. My only thought would be, you had scoring troubles earlier, and Chelsea may have woken up Ollie Watkins, but beyond that, like, you haven't had like a for sure striking option up top. So maybe you look into that. Maybe call up Duran, say like, you done in Saudi?
Wouldn't that be fascinating? That's I was going down that same road. Like, that's a player I think that they could totally use right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because otherwise I think they have some center back injuries like a lot of teams. So, maybe just find some cover there. But I think, 11-game win streak. I think they're technically overperforming their XG. So maybe some luck involved. But hey, you need some luck to win things sometimes. And I don't know. I don't know if you want to tinker with it too much, right? Like, kind of let it ride out.
It's hard to say, right? I think when that loss finally happens, which could be tomorrow, I think then you might think about it a little more.
Sure, yeah.
Because then if Liverpool win, only 4 points away from fourth, and then you're thinking, okay, we want to continue, the Champions League. We're having great success in it right now. We don't want to, not be in it next year. Do you sustain this year and just be where you are and then build up for next year too, and then really push for it? I just think these opportunities don't happen very often, right? Yeah. You're not usually sitting 3 back 18 games in.
Yeah. I think it's like you said, it's not a team with a lot of star-studded names. It's a team with good enough players that are, working well together and working under Emery's system. So I think you do want to kind of push while you have that, because I just think if you wait till next season, that gives City more time to get all their new like midfield players a season under Pep and working with Holland and everything. So they could be a different beast next year. Liverpool has a full season of Wirtz and Ekitike and whoever else might come in and Arsenal will hang around. I think they seem to be wanting to continue to fight, and doesn't seem like they're gonna stop investing in the squad for that. So yeah, you maybe like all credit to Leicester on their season, but there were a lot of teams that were just not performing that season, right? Like, so I mean, they had to do what they had to do to get the wins, and they did. But this is maybe one of those seasons again where, Arsenal squad on paper I think looks most complete, but here we are running out of goal scoring options, right? We're relying on own goal right now, which is a great thing to have in your pocket, but can't be the one you always look to. City, without Holland, I don't know that they would be up this high, right? Like Liverpool kind of, lurking, and I think can still go up, but gave you that window to jump them in the table, right? So I don't know. I think you got to kind of push for it since you're here.
I agree. And interesting thought here, or I guess when Leicester won their title in 2015, 2016, guess where Villa was in the table?
I don't know. I feel like probably mid to lower mid.
Dead last, Chad.
Oh, well, see.
So think about where you were 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's like 10 years later. We're due for another, upset Premier League win. So who knows? If you're Emery, I think he says he's not worried about a title charge because he doesn't want the pressure for him or his players. But you kind of just have to play the season as it comes to you, and here you are. You're 3 points off top. Could potentially be level on points tomorrow with Arsenal. So I think it's time to start. Riling up your guys off the win streak, or just table position. But push forward, make a signing or two if you need to strengthen wherever you might think you need to. But I think you just got to take it. You got to take your chance, because who knows what next season can bring. It could be a season full of injury and collapse, and you could be bottom of the table again.
I think with the title push too, even if you don't get it but acknowledge you're in it, could be a huge learning opportunity for all those players to know, the grit it's going to take to go the full season while trying to be at the top the entire way. And, obviously they're damn near at the top right now, but also acknowledging it and being aware of it and getting that pressure in this year will make it so next year that pressure isn't as daunting, right? It's not as heavy.
Sure, yeah.
You've been here before. You've seen it. You know what it feels like. You know what you have to do to get to the top. Just you didn't get it last year. Like Arsenal is a great example of this, where they've had to do it for the last how many years now? 3 or 4, right? 3 years of just like being right there. But I feel like year one of that Arsenal team, when they were at this position, they weren't shitting themselves, but it was uncomfortable. And now you're winning uncomfortable games and kind of going, okay, next one, right? We're still getting the points, still at the top of the table. It's just fascinating to see, obviously, where they started, where they are now. If your team or my team doesn't win it, Villa is definitely the front runner for me to take it.
Oh, sure.
Anyone but City. But again, we look at those kind of 4 teams at the table right now, and I feel like I'm content with those teams being where they are, at least for the foreseeable future. Liverpool, again, I'd love to see them climb, but will we? Hard to say, but I feel like after that, you get this mixed mash of teams that are just going to keep like flipping over each other, and no one's going to stick around of where they should be just because of how inconsistent they've been playing. And from Chelsea, win, loss, draw, win, loss, draw. It's like constant turnover of these games. United, you say the same thing. Sunderland playing it safe. Brentford on the rise.
Yeah.
But they were, flip-flopping with Palace. When they were on the rise, Brentford was falling. So it's like everyone else is very inconsistent right now. And then there's just a lot of wins at the top. And now I think this is the separation that we talked about. It's happening right now.
Yeah. I think the top 4 teams, I think, are finding that consistency, whether it's, you're a Villa, you're going on an 11-win streak, or just the other 3 of like mostly winning. But then when you drop points, it's, 1, maybe 2 game stretch, and then you're back to winning. Where, you drop below that, it's so up and down of, you look at Chelsea, it was loss, draw, win, draw, loss. Like, you can't be doing that and imagine you're going to stick in the top 4. And United's kind of the same way. And I think it's just, you're seeing the teams that can find their patch of form, maybe not always the prettiest, like for Arsenal, but getting it over the line. But then it's, I don't know, I guess maybe an experience thing of, Arsenal's been in this situation for 3 years now. Maybe feeling a little bit more comfortable in the uncomfortable situations. City's going to be City, and Liverpool, I think, it was always going to be hard to match last season, but I think, like we said before, getting all that like weird, terrible run out early, kind of maybe took pressure off and allows Ekitike, Isak, if he were healthy, like time to get into the team and not be so like worried of betting into the team, but also like staying on top of this title charge. Where it's like, here you're certainly not out of it. There's plenty of time for things to happen, but now, like, almost like you said earlier, you can kind of sit and watch, and
we're lingering.
Have the benefit of like not the spotlight.
Yeah, I've always wanted it. Honestly, this was the year that we kind of needed it. We started too hot. Attention spotlight was too big.
Yeah,
and then it got too rocky, and now we're sitting pretty. I look at Chelsea here, and I look at the table, and I think, they're a 5th place team. But it doesn't feel like they're a 5th place team getting ready to be a 4th place team.
No,
that's like the drop off right now that I see, and I could say the same for United. I would maybe even argue, like, on days United is better than Chelsea, but both those teams are just like all over the place, and I just wonder, like, what is Chelsea? What's the end game here with them? Like, they can't linger in the top 4, right? At least they haven't really been. They don't make these title pushes, which, they have these contracts for, we'll call it average 7 to 10 years, right? But like, at what point in that contract is management saying this is the title year? Because right now with this team, it's not a title team. You maybe look 2 to 3 years down the road, and you still ask yourself, well, who is going to have the most growth, right? Maybe a couple players in there. They're still all 24, 25, but it just still feels like a selection of really good players who don't have like that chemistry that we're already seeing brewing up with Ekitike and Kirkes and Wirtz, right? A little bit of it with like Fernandez and Caicedo, because like both played the same position, right, when they came in, and now they're kind of figuring out whose role is whose. Of course, Palmer had an amazing season last year, somehow made it into the top 11 best players in the world, which is questionable.
Yeah.
But like, that was kind of peak, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, is he going to be better than that season last year? At this rate, no. Like, he's got a lot of time, but it's like, this team right now with him should be really good. And I think they're just they're fine, right?
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah. I think they're fine. I think they, will have those wins against the big teams and cause some upset here and there. But I think, it doesn't feel like a...
Yeah, but then they'll lose to Leeds.
Well,
they'll draw against Castle. It's like...
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a team that's like constantly like gelling more and more. It just feels like a team that we found a guy who works best in this spot, and this spot, and this spot, and you kind of know how each other plays because you've played some games together. But it doesn't feel like there's that same kind of I don't know, like passion or brotherhood you see in some of the other like title charged teams. And like you said, I don't know, it's so many years on these contracts to preserve player value, but at a certain point I think a lot of these players will, one, either not be getting the game time they want and want to leave, two, be playing this game of 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th season after season and saying, well, I want to fight for something more, or other teams just come in and throw some money. Like if Palmer pops off again, I don't know, a Madrid or Bayern or someone comes in and says, come over here, and maybe that's enough to turn your head and you leave, and now what? Chelsea just goes splash some cash on 3 other guys and see which one works out best. And so I think they gotta kind of work out their plan a little bit more and try and get some timeline down of like when we think we're gonna at least make a title challenge, and hopefully then this year is the real push or whatever. Like,
I just don't think Chelsea gets that much scrutiny.
No, certainly not.
There's so much news about United being bad, Amarim being not their coach, Liverpool having their losing streak, Mo Salah being in the news a ton, Arsenal bottling it later in life, but Chelsea has spent so much money and they just haven't really shown much out of these last 3 to 4 years of this development plan. So I just still I just question what they're doing so much right now. And if they were winning these games, which if Chelsea's in Aston Villa's position right now, I'm not saying nothing. I'm like, okay, I think what you're doing is working, right? You're building up your team. Maybe not this year is your title run, but your team is understanding what it takes to be in that top position at the midway point and still linger all the way till the end. They're not even I don't even know if they're thinking that. The way you watch them play, it doesn't look like they want to go be these title contending team and scratch and claw and find their way to victories, like Villa, like Liverpool in the first 5 games of the season. It's just inconsistent, and it bugs me, and I don't feel like there's enough enough negative news about them.
I think scrutiny and criticism are the words, right? You have spent a lot of money and you've signed a lot of promising players, and we've seen maybe 11 of those players actually pan out and look like they might reach their promise, right? Because as of right now, it almost just feels like Chelsea is set up to be the luxury feeder club. You're gonna come in and buy our players, but you gotta pay a bigger price because we signed them to a 10-year contract, right? Whereas the Bournemouth and Brighton, Palace, whatever, people go pick off their best players, but that's typically the last 1-2 years of the contract, so you're not paying as much. But I mean, if Chelsea's not going to try and formulate a team and a plan to really win something, then that's your play of just we sell big, we buy a lot, and we sell big, and we just keep doing it.
You saw me giggling, and that was because I went to the Chelsea FC subreddit. Just wanted to lurk it really quick. The motto they have on there is carefree, and I feel like that's exactly accurate to how they're kind of playing right. They're just kind of carefree, And
You want that?
I don't know. Isn't that interesting? Carefree is the
Is that
motto.
the club motto or just the subreddit motto?
I don't know. Um,
Because that seems kind of crazy.
I don't think it's the club motto.
I wouldn't think so,
but it is. If you Google Chelsea subreddit,
yeah,
you'll see Chelsea FC carefree.
Carefree,
Which I don't know, kind of fits. So
carefree.
Yeah. It's again, average age of this club, 24 years of age, super young, very talented. I think once they hit their prime, I could be eating my words. I just don't think the patience is going to be there. Prime, we see 26, 27, 28. Those guys are 24. If this season ends up going fine, next season's fine, are players going to really put up with a third fine season? I don't know.
And I think a lot of it will depend on how those contracts are structured too, right? Like, I'd say your most tenured players at clubs these days are maybe a 5-6 year stint, which is well within the first contract Chelsea gave these players. But do you want to be 5-6 years of you may be progressing, but then is there no like pay rise opportunity in there? I mean, the club doesn't necessarily have a obligation to give you that. They'd signed you to this contract and they could see that out,
right?
Or just sell you off, right? So I don't know. I think while they're certainly like better than when they first started just signing all these people, they're still just fine. And I think now we need to kind of see what that next phase looks like. Is it are we actually building and making more focused signings to take this best 11 and support them and push them into a title run? Or are we just gonna let this ride out, and if you want to hang around and see if it works out, cool, otherwise we'll take the money for you and move on to the next guy? Like, either way, that doesn't sound like a great position to be in for club or player necessarily, but I don't know, weird spot for them right now.
I feel like it's been a while since we've had a Chelsea rant, so I felt like it was necessary.
Because they've been fine, right? So like there hasn't been too much to rant about, but I mean, they're just kind of lurking in that background of still one of the big six, but
why?
Barely, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm again, good for Villa for beating them.
Mm-hmm.
That sparked this conversation. Villa is just kind of knocking everyone off. I still question how we beat them. 12 games ago. Still it's probably the biggest question mark out of the Liverpool season when you put
that was
schedules side by side and you see loss, win, loss. It doesn't make sense.
It was two completely different teams 12 games ago.
Wild. So yeah, that about sums it up for me on those on most of the games this week. I guess going into tomorrow, how you feeling? What do you think Villa's going to come out with? What do you think Arsenal's going to come out with? How's Arsenal going to play? Who's going to be the one, I don't want to say dominating possession, but who's going to take control of that game and be that top of the table team after tomorrow?
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting because up until this game, I'm just looking back quickly. So we've had a run of 2 or 3 games where City's playing before us, so we kind of know, okay, well, they took the top, so let's get it back, sort of thing. Whereas this one we're playing before City, so it's going to be a tough game. I think another spicy game, as they often are against Villa. I don't think Arteta's going to change too much of what he's been doing. I think it's going to be a very similar team, if not the same team. Except you put Gabriel back in the back line since it looks like he's back. It's just I don't know. It's I'm confident in just that like Arsenal's been doing what they need to do, and even in that loss against Villa, it came with a very late scrambly goal, which you know has to happen sometimes. So we'll see. It's the team underperforming their XG versus the team overperforming their XG. So either it's
Right.
going to be crazy or it's going to be a really dud 0-0 affair or something. But I think if Arsenal can build off the last game with Declan Rice still looking great, even though he was playing right back last game. Hopefully Timber will be back so he can get back into midfield. Saka looked great. Odegaard looking, back to his best. Trossard looking good. Martinelli got into a great position, just, flubbed a goal, which would have been nice to ease the nerves at the end of that game. But I think the team is overall playing well. It's literally just the finishing that needs to be that final piece. And off of this, I just got to shout out David Raya's save was absolutely crazy. And, if Arsenal ends up winning this whole thing, that's certainly going to be in the season highlight of like a very key moment that,
Right.
got us the trophy. But yeah, so I think it'll just be, I think both teams might be a little bit cautious initially. Don't want to give up anything too early. But I think it'll probably play out similar of, while Arsenal will maybe have the dominant possession, it'll just depend if they can make something happen with it, score a goal. And hopefully Ollie Watkins is not fully resurrected. He takes a week off or so, but we'll see. I don't know. It's the same cautious optimism I go into every game with. Unfortunately, this one is just feels like a need to win rather than like would be good to win.
I think the need to win is a good statement to make, especially just to get a little separation too from first to third. I'm sensing draw, but not because because it's a we're both going to accept the draw. I just don't think opportunities are going to be frequent. I think each team will score a goal. Villa's without Matty Cash, who's just been on fire in the recent weeks. So I think that's a big loss for them. But I think both teams, if they get a draw here, they might not feel like that's the worst outcome. I think they'll kick themselves a little bit, but also walk away being like, okay, it's almost like no harm, no foul. And then whatever City ends up doing, it's, that's not in your control. You just got to accept it. I just have a feeling that Villa might not be as, I don't know, desperate to win. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird considering they've on this huge win streak right now. I just got a feeling they'll be content with a draw with a team at the top of the table. That's how they're going to look at this game. Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going off of Emery's rhetoric, it's
sure.
It's not. They're not thinking title. They're just. It's another game.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to put myself in the locker room and see the discussion. If it's me, dude, I'm saying balls to the wall. Let's get this. Let's do anything we can here to get this victory. If we get the loss, I'm almost okay with it. I'm almost okay with it because you don't move in the table. You're sitting still 4 points ahead of Liverpool. If Liverpool wins, you're sitting at least 7 ahead of Chelsea if they get their win. You're still sitting in a great spot. And I think it shows courage. It shows your team you're willing to give it a shot, see what happens. I don't know. Maybe Emery will surprise me. Maybe he's just playing this kind of hidden figure, staying low, and is going to surprise all of us tomorrow when he comes out and just plays super aggro.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. My only thought of him not is just because it's away from home and you maybe play a little bit safer. But I mean, yeah, if they don't win or it's a draw tomorrow, yeah, they're still in a great spot. But then even looking ahead of their schedule, they have Forest next, Palace after that, Everton. So you go right back into, very winnable games. Newcastle after that, which, they're a shell of themselves. So it's you can go on another run, basically. If this is the small little hiccup, there was always going to be one. Cool, get it out of the way and get back to winning ways. So yeah, I think it'll be a really interesting game. Obviously I hope for a Arsenal win, but I don't think it'll be easy regardless of what Emery decides to do with his players. I think you can maybe tell the media and I guess your players like somewhat we're not in this title race, but I think players probably have a good idea of where they're at in the table and see it's only 3 points from them to top, right?
I hope in private it is all title talk.
I would hope so. I mean, yeah, I hope Emery doesn't take that into the dressing room but I don't know. I think you would still want him to even publicly kind of at least gas you up a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm excited for this week. 2 games in roughly 5 days. More movement. I mean, we could see some drastic separation here. Could you imagine if Arsenal and City win both their games and Villa Liverpool lose, or vice versa? You two both lose your games at the top and we go up to it. It's crazy. Like it's wild where we're at right now. I'm glad at least the top 3 teams are as close as they are. If it continues to stay this way to the very end, Chad, we're about to see a really, really interesting finish. Last game of the year for Manchester City is Aston Villa. Aston Villa's second to last game of the season is against Liverpool. So, huge games, right?
Yeah.
And we're already thinking about them. Well, at least I'm thinking about them right now. Just because this is where we're at in the season now. It's too close at the top, and if you want to hang around, you got to win these crazy December games. So that's just where we are.
Yeah, it's like I said, not been the most fun festive period for Arsenal fans. It's stressful, but if we make it through the end and see the team lift the trophy, then it'll all be worth it. So I can only hope.
I'm curious, what was it like for you last year? And I think you had a pretty easy going.
Yeah,
Christmas.
I think it went okay. I mean, that December period seems to be like November, December seems to be the rough patch where it's either injuries or we stop scoring or just lose games we shouldn't lose. I remember it being okay though, but I think it was just Liverpool was on a tear last year, so it was so much of trying to play catch up or keep it close, and it was a different stress.
The stress will never end.
Yeah.
We just keep going. All right, Chad. Well, we hit our hour mark. I think we did pretty good what we were given this weekend. We'll see what games look like in the next 2 days. Maybe do a quick pod if we can, Thursday, Friday, and then we're right back into it again on the weekend. So, yeah, it's going to be a quick one. So, if not episode 113 this week, definitely by the end of the week.
Yeah,
we'll get something going. So maybe 2 games in one. We'll see. With that, you got anything more to say?
No. I guess just Happy New Year to everyone, and thanks for sticking around, and got plenty more episodes to come.
Let's do another year of this. There's no stopping us. We'll be here. Can't wait to see you Wednesday. And, we'll be having a good time, then watch some footy for what feels like the first time in a long time.
Yeah,
I honestly, I was like, when did we last watch a game together? And I think it was Andrew's place. We had a couple games on. So
yes.
Oh, and Zach's wedding too. We had the game on. I think
true. Yeah,
I was partially
well. Physically, you were there.
I was there. I was there. All right, Chad. It's been a pleasure as always.
Always.
With that, the Hooligans pitch. We're out. Peace.